My name's Rosie. I live with my mum, my dad, my brother and my sister. And one day I want to be a world-famous actress. I also have autism, which means that my brain works a bit differently. I'm going to take you into my world. Imagination. Show you how autism affects kids in all sorts of different ways.
I'm not a logical person, as you may know.
Yeah, I want to be different, I ask to be different, I am different.
But that however it affects you, it doesn't have to hold you back. So stick with me and find out what it really means to be autistic. The kind of autism I have is called Asperger's syndrome, and sometimes it makes me see things a little bit differently. I get very sensitive and I can't control it, and sometimes it's a bad thing because all the other kids are laughing when I'm just crying, screaming at things that they're not. Every single thing, even things that aren't living, has a personality and a life. If there's two pairs of shoes and I pick one and I feel like the other pair would feel left out or something. I don't like saying certain words because they just make me feel all tense and unhappy. A lot of people with autism have that. Sometimes mixes your senses up a little bit. I can feel words. I used to describe a word as being slimy or prickly because that's what it tasted or felt when I said it or when other people said it. Quite a lot of people, they don't have much understanding about it. They don't mean to be mean, but it does hurt my feelings because of my sensitivity. So what exactly is autism? People with autism have problems relating to others and making sense of the world around them. Scientists know it affects the way the brain works, but they don't know what causes it. Boys are much more likely to be autistic than girls, and it can run in families. Autism isn't rare. 1 in every 100 people is autistic, and it comes in all shapes and sizes.
I get very stressed in crowds. I have anxiety issues.
I'm sometimes easily distracted, easily annoyed.
It's a bit difficult for me with the how-to conversation. I need to try to think very hard about it.
If someone does touch me, I say, can you please not do it again?
I sort of feel sometimes like people try to hurt me.
It feels uncomfortable at when people's crowded.
I'm not really normal, but it's kind of, I can't describe it. I'm sorry, I can't really describe it.
Although it can be a problem, I wouldn't swap my autism for anything. It makes me who I am. I just wouldn't be the same without it. For instance, I think it gives me my imagination. It also gives me my incredible skill at remembering hundreds of impressive facts. The inventor of the waffle iron didn't like waffles. Spain literally means the land of rabbits. Some people might call my obsession with facts a bit boring. I call it focus, and I'm not the only autistic person who thinks like this. Tony's autism expresses itself with major obsessions. At the moment, it's a role-playing game called Warhammer, with loads of complicated rules. And having clear rules about everything makes Tony feel good.
Remember, I've got the objective so far, because I'm within 3 inches of the building. Most people, when they do a hobby, they normally do it for a period of maybe a year or 2. We do it for like nearly a decade.
Lots of autistic people like to get interested in a hobby, and that is what Tony is like with Warhammer. He absolutely loves it.
It's a strategy board game including little plastic miniatures they have to build and paint, and then you get to play with them. It's really epically fun. Green for the orc skin.
He's really good at painting, he's really good at building. That's all he likes to do.
I get 4 attacks each on the charge, which is awesome.
know everything about a subject, and Tony knows all of the rules about Warhammer.
Like complicated and hard. Basically, standard infantry moves 6 inches, fast attack heavy weapons, 12 inches. They can move, but then they can't shoot. But if you stay still, you can still shoot. 12 inches.
If he doesn't know the rules, he can't play. And if he can't play, he gets really angry.
Normally when I'm playing the game, I don't talk, I think, I plan. I'm working, I'm plotting, it's really fun. Well, just if people like organising stuff, I organise stuff because otherwise everything will be out of order and hectic. I colour code all my models to make sure they're not mixed up. I also keep special units separate from the core units. They have to be in the same box, the same place. I just want everything to be organised.
If you drop something and put it back where it could belong, he'll know because he'll just measure it.
What are you doing putting it there? You don't put it there. You put it next. No, you put it, yeah, here.
Tony finds it hard to make friends because he doesn't really know how to say to people, can you be my friend? 22, 23, 24, it's turn 3. Can I borrow 3 dice? The reason I don't have any friends is because my friends are little plastic miniatures and I'm just an anti-personnel magnet. I just feel like models, they can't talk, they can't move, they can't do anything. But they keep me company. I just don't feel lonely with them around. Oh yeah, I'm perfectly normal, everyone else is weird. The entire world's weird, I'm fine.
Like many children with autism, Tony doesn't find it easy to socialise, but his hobby has helped him to make friends.
There are lots of different types of autism. Some people like me have a much milder type, but others have a much more severe sort. And one of them is my little brother. This is Lenny. He has classic autism. Even though he's 9 years old, he can't really talk, and we think that he won't have much independence and he'll be looked after all his life. At the moment, Lenny is nesting on the TV. He grabs the throws from the sofa, stuffs them down there, and then sits on them eating gogurts, which is yogurts. He likes things in certain places. He puts all the throws behind the TV. He turns the sofas over. He fills the bathroom with bubbles, and he likes it that way. But we don't, and we don't see why he likes it that way. Hi, Lenny. He feels really stressed if the doors aren't shut. He'd get up and out of the bath. You can sense the doors being open. Right, back to the bath now.
A lack of understanding can be a real difficulty because Lenny looks completely normal, and there's only his behaviour really that gives a clue to the fact that he has a disability. And it can often seem like a child's being naughty or throwing a tantrum, when in fact they're just reacting to some kind of stimulus, or they're unhappy and they're unable to express their needs.
Best thing about my little brother is absolutely everything. Look at him! He's absolutely brilliant! Because it's not always obvious that people have autism. Some people think we're just mad or being naughty. This lack of understanding is one of the worst things about being autistic.
My name is Ben. I was bullied at school because people didn't understand the fact that I had autism. Autism, to me, enlarges one of your emotions. It makes them a lot more potent. For me, it made my anger a lot bigger. And when I completely lost it, I would sort of lose my vision. I'd be able to hear, but I wouldn't see. I'd be seeing red, you might say. And next thing I knew, I'd be informed by somebody that I had attacked somebody or done some sort of damage. I heard of Viking berserkers. I'm twice the trouble of them. People figured I had an anger problem. They continuously it taunted me, goaded me. Most of them called me a bear. I was feared, I was hated. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all. Imagine going to school every day and not having a single friend. I was very depressed. I didn't enjoy life. I realised that it wasn't going to get any better. I was very desperate for any sort of help. I didn't want to live. I actually did not want to live at that time. Well, when I started high school, I didn't really go to too many lessons. I was too afraid. After a while, I started to get more confidence, and I came down with support from the LSU. The LSU stands for Learning Support Unit, and it has really helped my life. If you are worried or panicked or something bad happens, I can always go straight up there and attack a pillow or something to get my anger out. Amongst all the chaos, you find sanctuary in the unit if you're autistic. Just having some support has helped with everything else. It's made me more confident, made me calmer, and now I am able to go down to nearly any lesson given without any support. I've become more sociable. I've learnt more about the outside world than just looking out the window. I've got more things to talk about. I can relate to more. I used to think that every time I got near somebody, they would call the cops on me. But I've got friends now.
Ben, I find an interesting person, in fact, and quite entertaining.
He sees things differently, so it brings you different points of view that you wouldn't necessarily think of yourself.
I'll probably say funny, quite serious as well sometimes.
I think they think I'm fairly okay. Someone to watch out for, but still fairly okay. Clever, occasionally funny, and a bit mad. But I'm quite happy to be called that. I'm just happy to have friends.
Ben is just one of 500,000 people with autism in the UK, and like him, many of them have a difficult time.
Nearly 3 in every 4 children with autism feel unhappy and anxious about things. It's not because they're autistic, it's because they're not getting the help and support they need. And things don't get much better when we get older. In fact, only 1 in every 6 people with autism end up with a full-time paid job. When I grow up, I want to be a famous actress, hairdresser, Dalek, and I don't see why my autism should stop me. One thing I've learned is that just because I'm autistic doesn't mean I can't succeed. I love drawing, and last year my drawings were published in a book that my mum wrote.
I did nearly 20 illustrations, and this one's my favourite. Lots of people wanted to know about the book and my drawings. I even appeared on the One Show to talk about it, which meant sitting next to Robson Green and chatting with the presenters.
Fiction. Yeah, and great illustrations.
Yeah, you've
Brilliant.
got pictures, didn't you?
Thanks.
I've made this film because I wanted to tell the world about how many autistic kids get bullied at school and can have a really tough time getting jobs when they're older. I wanted everyone to see close up what it's like to live with autism, and I hope you've enjoyed meeting Tony, Ben, Lenny and me. Autistic kids can come across as a bit different, but it's well worth getting to know us.
Living with autism can be hard sometimes, but it makes me who I am. Autism makes me different, but it also makes me unique and special.
I'm beautiful.